Hey everyone, have you ever created digital products in Canva and you're feeling really good about them, but then you get completely bogged down at the thought of having to make mock-ups to sell them? So if you would like to have your entire set of mock-ups done in 1 or 2 minutes, then this video is for you. So let's set up our blank mock-up canvas. I'm going to create a new design and set the custom size to 2500 by 2500 pixels, and this is a good size for your Etsy listings. And then create new design. Now we can choose a background color or a texture or upload a style background photo. For now we'll just keep it blank. We'll make the reusable part and then we'll go ahead and make backgrounds for them. This keeps it nice and clean. We can see what we're working with. So what we are going to do today, just for a demonstration, is a 5x7 invitation, and I'll also show you a 2x6 bookmark where we can make them completely reusable. So we go to Elements, we're going to look for Frames right here, and what we want is just the very basic shape. Now right now it's a square, but we're going to make it the 5x7 ratio, and the way I do that is I go to Position and I just go 500 by 700 and lock in that ratio. So while it's really small, this is actually a complete 5x7 ratio that we can use. So if you're not familiar with frames, you may wonder what they actually are. They're a placeholder for an image, like a little bucket that we can keep putting different images in over and over again that will retain this ratio, this size that we want. So if I have these invitations, I can drag one in, drag another one in, and it's reusable. You just keep swapping what's in there. So that's what a frame does. Where when we did these before, we just put the image on the page and it wasn't reusable. We would have had to then go and put another image and resize it and place it where we wanted. By having this, you can put this wherever you want in your design and still swap out what you want. And you can turn them and resize them and do everything that you want, and it still retains the ability to be reusable. So they are such a game changer in really speeding up your process. So what we are going to look at today, I'm going to make some simple mock-ups and show you how powerful this is. So on a reusable frame, if we want to take the image out, we just right click and go Detach Image and drag it out the way. And there's our frame underneath. Now the one thing that is a little annoying with frames, and I really wish Canva would change this somehow, is that you cannot add a shadow to them. If you notice down here, I've got a shadow. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Now there are two ways you can do it. So we would go to Elements, type in Shadow, and what we're looking for is a shadow that we can slide behind the page. So maybe something like this one. Now this is a pro element. You have to have Canva Pro to use the ones with the crown, but some of them, see, there's no crown on this one. This is a free one. So if you've got Canva Pro, you can use any of these. If you only have the free version, just use these ones. So what I'm going to do now, you'll notice when you're using frames, if you slide an image in front of them, it immediately drops into the frame, and that's not what you want. We want the shadow to go behind, not inside the frame. So what we would do, let's take that out, hold down your Control key. Now I can move this all over the place and it will not drop in that frame. So whenever you're placing shadows like this, hold down the Control key. Now I'm going to pretend this shadow is right behind it. And I'm going to make it a little smaller. I'm still holding my Control key down because I don't want that shadow to jump into the frame. Then when I'm happy with it, I need to change the position of this. So I'm going to go to Position, Layers. Right now the shadow is on top of the frame. Drag it down underneath. Now it's behind it. So we have a little shadow there behind the frame. Now if we want one on the side, we can duplicate this. Just hit Duplicate. Now again, hold down your Control key because it's going to want to drop in the frame. And we're going to turn it so it's at 90 degrees. And we can size it like this. And again, change where it is on the position. So that's one way. You could put your shadows behind it like that. But I find this very fiddly. And you would group them together so that you could move it as one. So it works. But the way I like to do it is I make something in the background. Now I'm going to show you on this. I'm going to get rid of these two. Now what I've done, let me ungroup them. Here's the frame on top. And here is a blank 5x7 design that I made. And all I do is I lay the frame on top of it. But this allows me to change these shadows as much as I want because it's an image that has the shadow, not the actual frame. So if I want a drop shadow or an angled or a page lift, curved, whatever I want, I can apply it to this and then lay the frame back on top of it. Now when you change the shadows, you will have to change the size of this. Canva has this annoying habit now, whenever you add a shadow, it makes the element smaller. So we would just resize it if we created a new shadow for it. But by having that behind, it allows us to apply different shadows to it where we can't do that directly to the frame. So that's what I did on these. You can clearly see the frame on top of the little blank there. So if you group it, you can move them as one. If it's ungrouped, you might accidentally move the top and they come apart. So just group them. It's just easier for you to move them around. So what I like to do, if I was making this set for myself, I would figure out what I'm going to sell. And maybe it's, baby shower invitations or whatever, and put that up there. And then if I only need one, I would just delete these, delete this, and just have the one that I would resize. Now you must, if you drag from the corner, it will always maintain that 5x7 ratio. Okay, and we can change the background color from white. Let's say we want a pale green or something. And whenever you change a background color, see down here it will ask, do you want to change all the pages? And if you do, you just say yes. So it has now made all the backgrounds pink. Wherever there was white is now pink. I don't actually want pink. I'm just going to Control Z and get rid of that. So what I normally do is once I have one with the shadow that I'm happy with, I will copy it and then put it on a blank page at the top of the set that I'm working on. And then if I want to make this set, make another page that maybe has, let's just type R for rectangle. And maybe I want to put this at the bottom of the page. And then I can duplicate that. Maybe move that up the top. Change whatever color I want. Put my text in here. We'll just use this. And then I would grab this, just copy it, paste it down here, position it where I want. If I want some text down here, I can push it to the side, or I can let Canva show me when it's in the middle. Resize it. And there is one page done. Now if I want to do another page, I'm going to duplicate that. It's the easiest way. Once you've got a layout that you like, just duplicate it. And let's say we want 2 on this page. We're going to make it a bit smaller. Position it where we want. Now hold down your Alt key. Keep it held down. Click on it and drag. Now you have a duplicate copy of it. There we go. Now let's say we want one with 3 pages. We duplicate it again. Let's just get rid of this one. Make this one a little smaller. So we know we'll have room for 3. Hold down the Alt key, drag. Hold down the Alt key again and drag. Now you have 3 that are the same size. And I can group these if I want, make them a bit smaller. Drag them down where I want. Let's say I wanted 6 on this page. What I can do is while they're grouped, hold down the Alt key again and drag them up. And now you have 6. You didn't have to do them individually. You just made one and then duplicated them. So that's what I've done on all these pages. I've just set out different layouts. And then now on this one. This one's a little different. So let's see how we did this. Again, I'm going to come up and grab one of these that I was working on. Copy it. Bring it down. And I usually start with the one in the middle. Let's make this a little smaller. So let's get that centered. Now again, Alt and drag. And let's, before we do anything with that, let's do that again. Alt and drag. And again, Alt, drag, Alt, and drag it over. Now I've got the 5, but obviously, you see how these ones are at the back? This one's on top of that, that one's at the very top. Let's change our layer, our position. So we want this one to be at the very back, this one to be at the back. Now I can also do it this way, right click, layer, send to back. Now these two on the outside are at the back. This one's in front of it, which we want. Now this one in the very middle, we want this to come to the very top. So bring to front. Now they're layered the right way, and we want to just move them, just rotate them a little. So what I normally do is I take the outside one. Now do you see the little number that says 12? And then I come over here, rotate. This one will be minus 12. But now I know they're on the same angle. Then I come to this one, which needs to come up just a tad. And I'm going to rotate this one, let's say 6. This one will rotate to minus 6. So that is how, and I can grab all of these. Obviously it's too big for the page. And let's just group these, and we can move them where we want. And then when you come to drag, it's already laid out exactly how you want. And you can do the same thing with just 3. If we want to ungroup, let's take the outside ones off. Make these a little bigger. And now you have 3 on the page. Now this one is done the same way, just one straight. And these ones, I just rotated them just randomly. Now this one is a little trickier, but it's the same principle. So let's make a blank page here. Grab one of our, there it is. We'll grab this one. Now we need to make it pretty small. Now we're going to put one right underneath it. So again, Alt, drag down. And you can use those pink lines to know that you're lined up. Alt, drag down. Okay. Let's group these. And let's just put that one in, let's say the middle. Now we can move Alt, drag across. And we can drop them down so they're staggered. Now obviously we're going to need another one up here. So let's just copy another one. Bring it down. Yes, it's too big, but that's okay. We just make it smaller. And now we have 4 on this row. So let's group these. And now Alt, drag across. And then Alt, drag across again. And we're going to move this one up to match the center row. And Alt and drag across. And those pink numbers will show you that you lined up. And that's how I did this one. And I did exactly the same thing on here. But when first of all, I lined them up straight. Then I selected everything and rotated everything. It's much easier to do it that way than trying to rotate each row. This one, I went to Elements and I found a tablet. And then I put a frame. In fact, some of them are already, if you go to Elements, and let's come down to the frames, and look for a tablet. And I think this is the one I used. And it's already got the frame in it. So I just made it a little bigger. So that's how I did that one. And I just put a few pages down here. This one, I just laid out 4 frames. Again, using the Alt drag method, very fast. And this page is actually, I sell templates and I always put a little instruction page. But I've left this in because I'm going to give you this set of mock-ups that you can use. You can make them your own. And I'm just going to leave this little instruction. But this shows you the shadow behind and the frame and how you would add the image on top. So let's say we have now made our full mockup set and we want to use it. This is how fast it's going to be from now on. So now when we're ready to make our mockup set, we can just drag in what we have created, put them over here. And it is now really, really fast to make a complete mockup set because you've done the work once and now you get to just reuse it over and over. And we don't just have to have a blank background. We can actually go down to the photos. If you don't see the photos down the side here, just go to apps and look up photos. It'll be the first one you see. And we can use any of these images as a background for our mockups. So let's say we like this one. Just right click, set image as background. Double click, we can move these over a little. And we can add another one. Let's say we like the blue one. Again, set image as background. And now we can just grab our little frame and bring them down to here. And just make them a little bigger and resize them and place them exactly where we want on this page. We can do the same here. See, so you don't have to have just a blank background. And Canva has a lot of background images here that you could use for some really nice mockups. So once you've got the basic principle of making the frame to the size that you want to reuse it, then you can really speed this whole process up and just keep making different backgrounds as you go. So that is how you would do that. And if I was making mock-ups for a set of bookmarks, I would use the exact same principle. Now, if I wanted to do this, let's say we were making a bookmark and that measured 2 by 6 inches, I would come up here, make 2 by 6 inches, create new design. Now, I can't just save this as is. Canva needs me to do something to it. So all I'm going to do is just add some text and write 2 by 6. This is just for my purposes. Now, what I would do is download this, save this, download it. A PNG will be fine. So I'll save this on my computer, then I'll put it back into Canva. So I'll come to Uploads, Upload Files, and here is the little one that I just made. Bring that back in. So I would grab it from the Uploads, just put it in here, and I know that I can now create shadows to it. So come down to Shadows. Let's just do a glow. So that would be the back of my bookmark. Then I would come and get another frame. Now I can either go to position and make this, say, 200 by 600, which is the same ratio as a 2 by 6 inch bookmark. Or I can just grab the frame and resize it and position it. And there you would have your blank bookmark that you could then group and copy and move around however you want it. So exact same principle. Instead of a 5 by 7 backing, I have a 2 by 6 backing, and I can change the shadow on that how I want. And again, if I was doing like affirmations that were 3.5 by 5, I'd do exactly the same thing. Make this a 3.5 by 5 project, save it, upload it to Canva, and that then becomes my backing for my affirmation cards. So it doesn't matter what size you're making. By creating this backing first, you're going to keep everything uniform and a lot more consistent and easier to add that shadow. And like I said, I am going to give you this set of mockups for free, so you've got a really good starting point. And if you'd like even more ready-made mockups to speed up your process, I have full sets available in my 2 Etsy stores, and the links to those are below. They're very simple drag and drop mockups that will really give you professional listings. But now you have the basics on how to make them yourself. And that's it. Now you know how to make reusable mockups in Canva that you can use over and over again. So I hope this helps you feel more confident in getting those first Etsy listings up and have them looking more professional. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you get notified every time I post a new beginner tutorial. So thanks for watching and happy selling. Okay, baby. There you go. Go on. Down you go. Go on. Down you go.